Hello, friends. Let's go to the weekly free instant tournament. Today is Tuesday, and so you still have a few days before the deals are updated on Friday. But for those who are not used to playing this feature on BBO, you can find it on the Solitaire tab. Weekly free instant tournament, 8 deals with match point scoring, and the deals don't change until Friday. So you can try your hands, preferably before watching this video, try your hands at the deals and then compare your results, thoughts, reasonings with me. Okay, partners opening with a week 2 bid. This, it's always uncomfortable to not show a nice suit like your clubs. And then you have an opening bid after all. But this is a clear pass. And the reason why it's a clear pass, I sometimes hammer this point with students, is that many people have a misguided idea of what is the goal of bidding. They think that the goal of bidding is describing your hand. No, that's a tool, that's an instrument. The goal of bidding is maximizing your score. So although 3 clubs here would describe your hand, it would increase the chances that you would get a minus. And so you should pass. And sometimes it will reopen in hearts, since you have only 2 hearts. And that is a danger. But as you can see here, you have a nice fit in clubs, but you don't have any game in clubs. Since you have that nice fit in clubs, you might be able to, if there is some misdefense, to get in tricks in spades. Might get 5 spades, 1 diamond, 6. You need 4 clubs or more to get to 10, but not in clubs. In clubs, any diamond attack would leave you losing 2 aces, as well as the possible club finesse. So that looks like a singleton lead. And if it is a singleton lead, we should the 3 of clubs was the lowest lead, so it's either 1 or 3. And so here we are, kind of stuck in dummy. That's why we led the king of spades, by the way. And I'm ducking 1 diamond because, okay, that's what I wanted to happen. I wanted to win the 2nd diamond, lead a heart from dummy, and maybe hope I would lead the king of hearts from dummy, hoping that the guy with the ace of hearts didn't have another diamond, and so that they would try to cash the heart and thereby giving me an entry. So they played a heart, so they gave me an entry, and we should play the king here, kind of trying to mask the main danger. Here's a club ruff, and now we can ruff low. Of course, there's no 9 hearts behind us. We can ruff low safely and draw trumps, even if spades are 5-1. So we survived that risk of the club ruff. Misdefense, of course. They should have insisted in diamonds. Reaching 2 hearts was a misdefense. The robots don't signal, and so that is a hand that humans would probably solve easily once they shifted to a diamond. It's not that clear the diamond is the right shift, but I think upon analysis it would be clear. Anyway, here we are with a 14 high card point hand, and this is a kind of hand with which fudging a point and opening 1-0 trumps is usually a good strategy against the robots. I wouldn't recommend it against humans, especially vulnerable versus not, as we are here. But against the robots, it has some upsides. One of them is that the robots always believe you're bidding, and so in defense, if we end up playing the hand, they might misdefend because they will give us an extra jack here or there. And so that's one point. The other point is that we are bidding above 1 spade. And since we have only a Doubleton spade, it's possible that we're about to get a one spade overcall after opening one club, which is the textbook opening. And so opening one on trump bars the one spade overcall. That's another very valuable plus. Risks, of course, especially at this vulnerability, is overbidding and losing under tricks at 100 per trick. That is really not cool. So I will open one no trump with the caveat that I would not do this with humans. It's just robot strategy. I'm not the best robot player by far, but you've followed me playing against robots for so many weeks. I have some experience, and let's see how it works out. I have to statement, and now I have to reject any invitation. So maybe we are one level higher because of the one no trump opening bid. Well, part has 9, we have 14. Shouldn't be, of course, one no trump is always better than 2, but it's easy to see. I would have bid 3 no trumps with partner's hand, by the way. 9 opposite 15, 17. Maybe the robots are catching up to the fact that humans love to open with 14 high card points. Anyway, we have apparently a second spade stopper and the 9 of spades, regardless of the position of the king. If we cover this trick, it goes jack, queen, king, ace. Now the 9 is apparently well positioned because West should have the 10 to lead the jack. So we will have 2 spade tricks, apparently, 2 spade tricks. They might switch to diamonds, but that's something to be considered later. We would have 3 heart tricks, 2 club tricks 5, and 2 aces 7, with the second spade trick that brings us to 8. So that is the basic plan. And if we get an opportunity to try to establish clubs, we will. We insist on hearts until they win the race. Okay, hearts are 5-1. That is something something important. So let's think, especially after this 8 of spades, which looks like spades are 5-3 because the 8 is a high card. He should be switching to a low spade if he started with 4 and if he had the 4-3 in his hand right now. So the 8 is consistent with the tripleton original, doubleton right now, leaving West with king jack 10 fifth. Now if he has that, 5 spades, 1 heart, if he has the club guard as well, which is possible and even likely because if he has the heart imbalance is kind of striking, right? There's the 5-1 break is a lot of hearts on East. So if we think about West's possible shapes, ascribing 5 spades and 1 heart for him, most shapes will have 3 or more clubs. It is only when West has 5-5 in spades and diamonds that it doesn't have the club guard. So let's give him a 5-1-4-3 shape. And let's imagine what will happen if we cash 2 more hearts. He will have to discard twice. And if he discards 2 diamonds, then he's safe. But he might have a holding with which it will be tough for him to discard 2 diamonds. Let's say he has king jack or king queen of diamonds. Now he will be tempted to discard only 1 diamond and 1 spade. And now we may possibly establish a club trick. So let's go for that. We're looking for the club discard immediately makes it me think that he has 5-1-3-4. He wouldn't discard from 3 clubs, but from 4 clubs that makes sense. 5-1-3-4. Let's see his next discard. There is the spade that I was hoping for. And now, if he has 5-1-3-4, he still has 2 diamonds in his hand. So I can cash 2 clubs, lose a club to him. He'll cash a few spades, actually 2. I will discard my diamonds, but then I will win the last 2 tricks. Okay, he did discard from 3 clubs, which means that I have 4 club tricks now. It's even better than expected. And he has at this point the 10 of spades and 2 diamonds. But there's no hopes of getting more than 1 trick in diamonds, so let's play. 3 clubs to the 10 didn't look like a stopper, but experienced players would know better than our poor robot. Anyway, 15 high card points. This is a hand with which many people would open 1-0 trump, and I don't like it. I think that losing our spades, especially not full versus full, is a big sin. And opening 1-0 trump, of course, could work well. And many players, perhaps most players, are opening 1-0 trump with hands in this family 5-3-3-2 with 5 card majors because of their concern about rebidding problems if it goes 1 spade past 1-0 trumps. And indeed, we won't be able to show our full shape. After 1 spade past 1-0 trump, we have to rebid 2 clubs, which is awkward and doesn't describe 15 high card points that we could have. More clubs and fewer points. That said, as this auction shows, I think that worrying about our second bid can become a red herring in many situations. In general, of course, if there's little to be lost, worry about your rebid and surely plan your rebid. Don't waste tempo thinking about it. When the problem arises, you have to anticipate your problems. But I think aiming for gold in each of your actions, in this case, in our opening bid, is better strategy in the long run. So here we found our spade fit. I don't have any game aspirations, and I'm happy, especially in a match point context. I'm happy to have found. If I open 1-0 trump, it would be go 1-0 trump, I'll pass, and I'm in a far better contract. So we have possibly, wow, 7 hearts with Mr. East. I would say I have possibly club roughs looming. Let me play this jack just to give him some second thoughts. I gave him some second thoughts, which is good. Can win this cheaply, and the plan is clearly to cash the ace of spades. Even if the king was on side, now we can claim, basically. Losing 1 trick. The king was on side, but it was too risky to lose to a singleton king to go to dummy. I had to win the ace of diamonds, lead the diamond to the jack, and play a spade to the queen. If I lost to the king of spades, now he would find a looming club rough. So playing the overcaller for the king of spades appeared better. Okay, 15 high card points, partner's a best hand, we're vulnerable. So this is a hand I think in which caution is warranted. If we were not vulnerable, I would bid 1-0 trumps here, especially because of that 9 of hearts. Let's pay attention to those spots. The 9 of hearts is promotable into a second stopper by very little in partner's hand. So doubles and 10 gives us a second heart stopper. If we didn't have the 9 of hearts, I think I would pass at any vulnerability. But here, vulnerable, I don't think the hand is too flat, and partner being a passed hand means we don't have to stay quiet forever. Double here would be a take out of clubs, I assume. Let me check. No, 2 plus clubs. Okay, they are showing extras, and so I'm happy to have not butted in. East should have 6-4, and West should have about 10 or 11 high card points. So if they are 10 or 11 plus an opening bid, that's called 12. 23 high card points. There's only 17 in our line, which means that partner has basically at most 2. That's rough math for us. And of course we will pass. I'm thinking about the opening lead. It looks best to try to cash our side tricks so that East cannot discard any loser. That said, the the spade bid on our left means that it's very likely that West has the spade king. So if we start with the ace of spades and Declarer has one spade and two diamonds, that might establish a discard. So I think our best shot here, if I don't think our aces will go missing. The only chance in which an ace could go missing is if Ace has two diamonds, one spade. Dummy has the aces of diamonds, and he has a diamond finesse position so that he can discard his spades. And he does that without drawing trumps. If he does all that, then we have to catch our spade ace immediately or lose it. That's quite a parlay. So I won't bet on that. I think it's best for me to lead a diamond. Sometimes father will have the queen. Sometimes father will have the jack, and dummy will have queen 10. And even if the Declarer has ace queen or the ace and the queen between their hands, and even if the diamond lead apparently loses a trick, it's not a trick that I hope I would ever make, because Declarer would have time, since Party has 0 entries. Declarer would have time to lead a spade to dummy's king to establish a discard. So a diamond lead it is. Ace queen in dummy. Didn't lose much or at all. So now queen of hearts. Assuming that's a 6-4 hand, this is clearly maybe b7-4, but this is clearly a hand with which we hope to make our 3 aces and possibly a club slow winner. So I think, should we gut this? It's not really important because we can ruff before dummy with our 9 of hearts if he goes for a club ruff, if he has to ruff a club. I think what we should do here is just cash our ace of spades and a spade. Wow. So maybe he has 7-5. 7-5, is that it? Looks like it. 7-5. Let's just verify that. Yes, 7-5 with king, queen, jack. We can see there's nothing we could do. Or 6-6. 7-5 or 6-6. Yeah, it couldn't be 7-5 because pawn had followed with a heart. But the singleton diamond was marked by the player trick 1. He didn't finesse. And the spade void was quite a surprise. Anyway, 17 high card points. That's one hard opening bid. And those are deceiving 17 because of the queen jack of clubs are of doubtful value. But it is 17 and it is a 5-4 hand. I would like, this is the kind of hand in which in imps I would just bash game. The value of inviting and stopping in 3 is very questionable. In match points though, I like to be able to stop at 3 if partner has crap. And so I'm checking his system to spades unspecified shortness, to no trumps of spades. I wouldn't like to bid my diamonds, but apparently I would like to bid to show a balanced hand. The reason why I don't like to bid my diamonds is that I don't want to help the defense. That's always a very important concern of mine in these borderline decisions. I actually think that pass is in the running here, but I think very few people would choose it, so I want to follow the field there. Okay, let's follow the feud. I guess 3 diamonds would be the bit of choice for most of the inviters. 10 of diamonds is a very nice holding, very nice lead. If apparently the diamonds are worth 4 tricks, we will be able to discard a spade and lose only 2 clubs. Indeed, 2 clubs lost and 11 tricks. Bart has a super max that with which I would never beat only 2 hearts, by the way, but that's our robot. Next one, we have 23 high card points. That is a 2 club followed by a 2 no trump. Once Sparta bids 2 no trump, I have a minimum. 23, it is. So 4 diamond tricks, 3 club tricks, or 4. But for us, now there's no way for us to get 4. Against humans, we would have to give up on the club finesse to make sure of an entry to north. Because a good player in west would duck 1 club with a king. Long king of clubs, 3rd or longer. And so if we try to finesses, we would be locked out. What I mean is this. If we play low here, win in north, we play the queen of clubs, win the trick, and now if we try the jack of clubs and repeat the finesse, we might lose to the king. A smart player in west would duck that first club, and now we would be stuck in dummy with a bunch of major losers and no entry to a bunch of tricks in north. Against a robot, though, could be best just to unblock diamonds and lead the queen of clubs at trick 3. So ace of diamonds, diamond to the king, queen of clubs. Robots will not duck the king of clubs as far as I know. And then we could, let's assume that the queen of clubs wins. Finish diamonds discarding spades, I guess. Repeat the club finesse, ending in north. I could discard a spade and a heart. And then try the heart finesse. There's no rush for me to do all this right now. So maybe I should be ducking a spade at trick 2. Ace of diamond, spade, duck. Let's say they play a diamond. Now we follow that basic line, but the spade duck may have, I might have an inkling of how the spades are behaving. And so I might discard 2 hearts and try to run spades. Or something strange can happen, such as West playing the queen from queen 5th and East following with a singleton jack. Far-fetched, but not impossible. I think I'll go for that. Now that is a queen jack of spades for sure. Now let's try the club queen. Okay. That is the gain of that line because now I can cash the spades, find that they are okay, jack 3rd. So now the hand is over. Claim. Heart queen was on side. There were many ways to get to 12 tricks, but that was, I think, quite safe. Okay, now we have a 1 diamond opening bid, followed by a 2 club rebid. That's a forcing, 4th suit forcing. So we keep describing our hand with 3 clubs. Partner showing a nice hand, game forcing hand with diamond support. 3 or 4. A good bidder here would bid 3 hearts, but showing a heart piece and by inference a spade shortness, helping partner to proceed. But you see the robot assumes that three hearts shows three cards in hearts. Doesn't make a lot of sense. No trumps, that's pretty final as far as I'm concerned, since I have described my hand. And that description should allow partner to go to 6 diamonds. Since I should have a heart honor, spade, singleton, you should never have simply bid. Simply bid 3-0 here. Anyway, we have 4 diamond tricks, 2 hearts, 2 clubs, and 1 spade. The contract is safe, but we want to do more than 9 tricks for sure. So I will not believe that this has led from Queen Jack. Let's establish our diamonds. If I get a spade lead, come. Okay. If West had switched to spade, I would win the ace to finessing clubs. Now, I think we'll duck this. And indeed, hearts were split. And so now I'll run my diamonds and try to understand what's going on. Hearts appear to be 4-4 to the lead. So East is likely 4-4, 4-1 with a singleton diamond. He discarded a diamond. A club, sorry. So apparently, let's get a heart discard from here. No heart discard. 2 club discards from West. He would not have bared his club queen. So if I believe, it's not that clear because East would not have led a spade from 5 in this bidding. So I can't put all my eggs on the 4-4-4-1 basket. Nobody discarded any heart. But if East has 5 spades, then nobody would have led a club also. So East might have 5 clubs. Would West discard 2 clubs with the queen? Only if he started with 5 clubs. That would give East a 6 spade. 6-4-1-2. No, I don't believe that. In other words, all signs point towards the club finesse. The 2 club discards from West appear to indicate that the queen of clubs is on side, and I'll play for that. Okay, I don't mind that. Okay, now my spades are high. And the club was on side also, and everything was high at this point. Okay, 13 Haggard points. Short clubs, last hand. We have nothing above our minimum. 14 and 9. The diamond lead is apparently a doubleton, so that we can don't have a we have a diamond loser in that case, and then we need to discard our diamond loser in a spade and ruff a club in diamond. That's one way to play it. The other way to play it is to draw trumps, ducking, because we need that third trump in dummy to control their clubs. Let's think. How is East's shape if he's short in diamonds, 2 diamonds? You might have 3-3, 5-3-3-2. I'll go with a club rough. The other way would be to basically try to establish our diamond trick. Now, if we get a diamond rough and over rough, the question is whether we try to run spades now. And I think we should. Spades now. Okay. And now we need that club rough. Our trumps are so puny. We will get a rough here. Yeah, we will lose 2 trumps in this handing. Or even more. Yeah. But we can claim losing 1 trump. Yeah, the 5-4-2-2. We got a good score, but apparently this was a day of lots of high scores because we were probably only third. You see 83 and 77. Well done for all of those guys. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you later. See you next week. Bye-bye.